said sorry, I'ma have to pass like Nash to Amari. Tiger up early on a Sunday, sinking birdies while the pigskin spinning through the air, taking birdie. It's a TD, it's a TKO, a home run, it's a hat trick. Ain't no way to be an all-star without practice. So if you down to sacrifice your life for a draft pick, it's a pretty sweet position. You can live it if you have some things in the air. If you got game, wave like you just don't care. If you got game, playing like you got no fit, and you got game. If you came in the way, you got game.
And welcome to We Talk Raw here on Our Beats Network. This is where real stories turn into real conversations, and we bring them to you. I'm your host, Terry Hudson, as you know, author, speaker, connector, and today we're going to talk about these two artists that they really bring movement and creativity and real brotherhood to the art scene. So I have here today Mr. San Juan and Mr. Sante, and they are known as TwinNation. So welcome to Benjamin Brothers.
Hey, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having
We made it work. You showed up, and
super honored and grateful, man. It's a pleasure.
You know what? I've watched so many videos of you guys, and you do incredible work. So let's go to it. Let's talk about I'm big on origin stories.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So let's talk about the origin of this. Obviously, I'm assuming you came from the same mother. You look so much alike. Anyway, go ahead. Tell us your story.
Yeah, we're two kids from Charlotte, North Carolina. My mom, she saw a God-given gift in us when we were kids. We were dancing in our living rooms, and we were dancing in the grocery store and everywhere. Living rooms everywhere. Yeah, we would watch all the classic movies like Beat Street and You Got Served and Breakin, Temptations,
Breakin 1 and 2.
Breakin 1 and 2, yeah. Our cousins actually put us on that Breakin 1 and 2 because we was watching You Got Served, and he was like, "You thought this movie was something? Go! I need y'all to go watch back and watch Breakin 1 and Breakin 2," and we saw it. And it blew our mind, man.
I mean, all those songs, when you think about it, those movies, when you think about it, it brought out songs like Shaka Khan,
absolutely.
The hits that came from that. But also, these dancers like Shabadoo. What was the other guy? He's a different name in the movies. It's not Too Cold, but it's like a name, like I can't remember what Turbo.
Yeah,
Turbo. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys were ex-Soul Train dancers. That made their way. You see them on What's Happening and all those shows after that. That was in the day.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I wish that we were like back in that time. To see what the energy was like. Of course we could see it on screen, but I think it's dope to like always put yourself like back in that time, just to be like, man, like, I feel like we could have danced in like any era, So, and just to put ourselves back at that time where the 80s was something amazing. All eras was amazing, but I feel like the 80s was definitely special. And then
absolutely.
Then late 89 is like when the New Jack Swing era came.
One of our friends we hang out with I love is Cheryl Belfield. She was one of the dancers for Soul Train.
Wow.
Like I took her to a New Year's Eve party one time and had her do that Soul Train, Soul Train dance line. So let's talk about you and your influences, whether it's young or whether it's now. It's like, who are the dancers that influence you guys?
Definitely Michael Jackson, man. Michael Jackson is it's like our GOAT, we used to dance. We actually have pictures of us when we were kids with the little Michael Jackson jackets on.
Thriller or Beat It?
I had the Beat It jacket on. I had on the bad jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And those was actually
all
like my cousins. Yep. Yeah. Those was actually our cousins' jackets I think that was like 97.
Yeah.
So, man. Definitely Michael Jackson, Jackie Wilson, James Brown, the Nicholas brothers, man. Like, those are like...
Oh, you went way back on that.
Yeah. even like when it comes down to like even groups, groups like, like the Temptations and some that was like in the early 2000s, like B2K, like those are like definitely NSYNC. We were actually in an R&B boy band group like early, like right before we were getting ready to go to like middle school. So it was about 4 of us. So we actually started in music like really, really early. So and our cousins are PM Dawn. So we got to give a shout out to them, man. Rest in peace to Prince B and Jared, man, because they really gave us like that spark. Like our first show at 14 or 15, we were in Syracuse in front of like
Syracuse, New York.
Yeah, in front of like almost like 20,000, 30,000 people. It was like this big festival. And he had us like perform maybe like a minute and 30 seconds. We looked up, it was like 2 jumbotrons.
Oh, yeah.
So like I gotta really give a shout out to them because they were like really our mentors. Like those are like our big cousins, man, and we could talk to them about anything. So
and then,
those guys, they definitely hit the scene. They did some great things.
Yeah.
And then they didn't put us on stage until we were like actually like ready.
Absolutely.
There would be times when they would come from like touring or whatever, and they'll come down to Charlotte, hang out with us for a while with the family, and we'll ask them like, "Hey, can we perform with you guys one day?" And he was like, "We'll see.
We'll see."
And I would always ask them. They would always say, "We'll see." And it was one day when we wasn't trying to even impress them. And we were like literally practicing, like literally practicing, and we didn't notice that he was watching us, and he just asked us out of nowhere. He said, "You guys want to go to New York with us?" And I was like, "Why?"
But we didn't know it was gonna be a festival. We didn't know it was gonna be like over like 20,000 people. So we didn't like. It was crazy because like when we got up there, when we got to like a certain spot, we went to McDonald's, and it was like, by the way, it's gonna be like all these people, and then like it was people like groups like All For One that was there, Color Me Bad, like groups like that really like took over that scene.
I love that whole era back then.
Absolutely,
great for vocal groups. Let's talk about this because you're bringing that up. Well, first of all, I want to say that sometimes these people are protecting us because they know we're not ready for the stage yet, and they don't want to throw you to the wolves because you don't know they're the wolves until you get sometimes
Absolutely.
Right.
And the other thing is, you kept asking. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. And it puts you in mind for he was probably a situation where he had something come up where somebody told him, "Hey, for this particular event, you need whatever."
Right.
And then right place, right time, but you were in mind, right?
Absolutely.
So when you go from that and all of a sudden you're stepping out on the stage, what's that feeling like?
Man, it was amazing, man. It was almost like dang, like this is like it was like we could really do this. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like he gave us that spark to say like
we got the potential.
We got the potential. I just want to give that to y'all, and I think that's what we do with our dance company. Like we put other young dancers on to give them a spark. If we get a blessing and an opportunity, we'll reach out to somebody and be like, "Hey, man, we think you super dope, man. You got the potential to be something." And that's what we do. So he passed it down to us. We passed it down to the next generation. So we also just launched our new label. It's called Next Gen Entertainment. So we're putting on like not only just dancers, but like young acts, like singers, soloists, groups. We're looking actually for another R&B boy band group. So artists out there, we're looking for y'all from like young ages and everything. So, yep. And
we'll cover this again at the end, but how do they find you?
They can actually find us at TwinNation on Instagram and TwinNation on TwinNation Dance Crew. Yep.
Very cool.
And we recently just relaunched our dance company. We had a dance company years ago, and we just wanted to like relaunch it and just bring a different twist to it. Since we're older, so and we have younger people.
Whatever, dude. I'm older, but I'm still relevant, right?
Yeah.
So you're more than relevant.
But we didn't want our dance company to like look like the typical dance company. We wanted us to have like our own little swag to it, and I love it. So it's only 6 of us, but I'm happy that we have the right people in our dance company.
Absolutely.
6 is a pretty powerful group.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, that's 2 more than a general boy band. So,
Right.
so let's talk about your first big break. Because I've heard about that. Speaking of breaking, your first big break was at a Breakin Convention. So tell us about that, how that went.
Yeah, Breakin Convention, man, that was so huge. That was
Where was that at, first of all?
that was out here in Charlotte, North Carolina. That was years ago.
Yeah, it was actually at the Blumenthal.
Blumenthal.
Yeah, and shout out to John Z, man. John Z is a dancer and also a director from the UK. He actually brought the Breakin Convention to the US, to Charlotte. So man, it was a blessing and an honor. That was our first big break. Because we were already doing stuff like in the community, you know, getting our name out there and just building grassroots community, and that really took us to like dang, like we didn't even know what tech like was like.
Yeah, we
were like filling it out and everything. So like that really took us to like the next level. Like, hey man, we could really, you know, do this. So
And that's an international competition. So what is like a difference when you're dealing with international dancers?
Man,
I think it's the level of like the talent level is like extreme, and it's so crazy that, you know, when we go out of town and we see so many different international dancers, they are so humble.
Yeah,
I mean,
UK dancers are very,
or just dancers in general outside of. I haven't seen. I mean, they're like, I've seen dancers that work with Beyonce when we went out to New York, and man, they're just humble, and you know, and then I would think that, you know, in your local area, people would be like that, but not everybody's like that, you know. But I was actually surprised.
Yeah.
You and I have talked about this, but anything outside humility is fear.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
And so they're fearing something that's going to be taken away, or something that they're not stepping up to what they need to do, even at that level. You know, you set your sights a certain way. So just do your craft and be humble.
Yeah.
So you two have built an international dance crew. What is the biggest lesson? No, let's say this. What's the biggest mistake that dancers make that keep them local?
I would definitely say you have to learn how to take risk in life. With us, we've always taken risk, and I think that's the thing. Like when you have a big dream, I feel like you got to take risk. If you don't sacrifice anything, like how could you ever see what that dream is like if you don't sacrifice? If you're staying complacent, you can't really you don't really know what your dream is capable of, you know. So I would definitely say, and branding is important.
We believe in that here.
You know
don't
what I'm saying? Like branding, like
and also too, like I think what keeps like dancers local minded and have they stay in the in their whatever city. I think it's good to just go out just for the experience.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not always about going out there to hope that somebody looks for you, you know, but it's just really about seeing the world and just getting a different perspective on life in general. That way, when you do come back in your local city, you can tell people like, hey, I've been here and I've traveled and I've seen different things, and I just got a whole new perspective on life. So sometimes it's not always about just, you know, getting that dream, but it's about just also just about getting the experience on life, because I feel like all young people should go and just travel.
Absolutely.
And just see the world.
Especially while you're young.
Absolutely.
My son
While
does
you're
that.
young.
I'm a big believer in it.
Yeah.
I always try to tell people, like, it's nothing wrong with, like, starting a family early. Some people, and I think that's beautiful, but like I try to tell people, like, while you're young, like travel the world. Don't focus on having, kids. Like, travel, like see different things, because you're like my brother said, you'll definitely get a different perspective on life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when you're talking about take that chance, be somewhere, you could be in a small place somewhere in another city. There is no just in that building anymore.
Right.
Yep.
You know, I've seen people. I've done this. I've sang at an open mic, just help a friend or something, and then somebody films it and it's on video and it's reached a ton of people that were not in that room. That room may hold 40, but even a small video that gets 1,000 views. That's a lot more people than were just in that room. So
Absolutely.
with that now, they can see you all over the world. Why wouldn't you take those chances and have somebody document it?
Absolutely, yeah.
And I've learned, as I've gotten older, and my grandmother, she used to always tell me this, and I hope that like young people, young dancers, young entrepreneurs are watching this right now, are hearing this, watching this and hearing this at the same time. But my grandmother, she used to always tell me, what God has for you is for you. And what's meant to be, it'll happen if it's in God's plan. And I could never understand that. And I would kind of like, now that I'm older, I kind of like have the discernment of like knowing, what's for you and what's not for you. But you don't have to really chase everything, it'll actually come to you. And alignment. And now that I've gotten older, I realize that you don't have to chase it. I'm not saying don't go take risks, but the blessings that I've gotten is actually, it just happened by the grace of God.
People will be put in your path before you even realize they're there. Or you think they have no idea about you. It's pretty crazy how it happens.
Absolutely.
And just do it because I feel like when you have pure intentions and you do it because you love it, it'll happen. When you do it, when you're trying to get somewhere, and it's just like it never works out. But I feel like what we were saying earlier before we were live, man, God blesses the heart.
Absolutely.
And if your heart is in the right place, He'll bless you. And I've seen so many people that are way more talented than us. They didn't get that, but maybe it was because their heart.
Yeah, and your heart also makes you work different.
Absolutely.
You don't just work harder; you're working intentionally. And there was a scripture actually, since you were talking about God, it says, "Blessed, are the pure in heart, for they will see God." And I think a lot of people take that, at least me growing up in church, as if you be good, one day you'll see God in heaven. I look at it a different way, which is if you're pure in heart, if you're really seeking humility and pure in heart, then you'll start to see God in the things that are happening. Because your eyes are open and then you can see and you follow that path, that leads you to that opportunity. It's bigger than trying to, network yourself to death to try to meet somebody.
Network yourself to death.
I believe in networking, but I believe in intentional networking.
Absolutely.
And show me who's out there that I need to meet.
That's right.
Okay, let's talk about this. Obviously, you guys are identical twins. Who dance together. I would say, what's the one advantage that identical twins or twins in general have over other dancers?
I would definitely say we always talk about chemistry in dance, but we really have that chemistry. Like we know we can actually talk to each other without even speaking.
And when we're rehearsing or anything, working on in the dance studio, man, it's
magic.
Something that some people have really good chemistry, and we just have something that most people, I wouldn't say most people don't have, but it's like we're not trying hard. It's like Kobe and Shaq. You know how they before they got into the but they just click like LeBron and Dwayne Wade. When they got together, it just clicked. Like he could be doing a move and then I could do something and it just clicked. We still dancing in the kitchen together. Like if he doing something, like we playing music, cooking or something, he do something, I'd be like, oh, that's hard. Like we could, actually keep that and use it for something else later. So. And I think that we have our own unique styles too. I think each and every dancer or every artist brings something totally unique to the table when it comes to their artistry. So I think that's what makes us different. We is like I said, we have that LeBron and Dwayne Wade chemistry to where I could just throw like that and he'll just lob it up, you know?
Know what's coming before I even look.
Know what's coming. We already know, you know?
Exactly.
And then we're just, everybody's unique, so we have our own unique styles. So.
You know what? Speaking of that, we'll tell the audience that we'll actually do this after the break, but we're not going to take a break yet. But when we come back, we're going to talk sports.
Okay.
And how that has to do with
Love
dance.
Sports. Love that, yeah.
So let's first talk about World of Dance.
Oh, man.
Tell them what that is and tell them how you fit in.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man. World of Dance is one of the biggest dance showcases in the dance world. It's kind of like the Super Bowl, the next to the Super Bowl. And the first year, actually, we have a long story behind World of Dance. See, I think,
stories,
man, a lot of people don't, and I think it's so important to tell your journey, to talk about your journey.
Absolutely. Storytelling, dude.
And so years ago,
back in 2019?
2019, we were supposed to go do World of Dance. And
COVID actually happened.
COVID happened, and it didn't work out. The second time it didn't, we were supposed to do World of Dance.
We were in Atlanta.
We were in Atlanta, and something happened with the other directors, but they let the little kids do the World of Dance, but the big kids didn't get to do the World of Dance. So, but we just we were just like, we didn't get down on it. And then years later,
2023 is like when we got a chance to actually do it with shout out to Miss Jane and Vision Elite.
Yep.
So right after we left the Hornets, we ended up getting the opportunity to perform at World of Dance. It was actually a collaboration.
As a matter of fact, she called us. Miss Jane called us out of nowhere. She just said, I'll never forget, I just came home from work. I was relaxing. And she said, are you guys doing anything next week? Because we just did a show with her
the week before.
A local show with her. And I was like, I don't know. I got to ask my manager. Then she was like, what about World of Dance? And she just said it out of nowhere. And I was like, hold on. Let me call my manager and just see, if I can get that day off. And by the grace of God, I got that day off. And but see, that's how God works, though. You never know where your blessing is going to come from. It could come from anybody.
Absolutely.
But you have to recognize that the blessing is from God, though.
Right.
And then fast forward to 2025, we were actually getting ready for our dance company. We had just got done with Taste of Charlotte. We had already filled it out like months in advance. So we were just like, all right, we're just gonna wait and see. We just kept working, and then I'll never forget August 4th, we got the email. It was like, congratulations, like your team is going to World of Dance. So like it was a blessing because like I feel like it put a stamp on our company because I've always wanted our company to like do something big like that, you know. So it was a blessing, man, and an honor, man, and it's something like when we get our own dance studio, we're gonna put the plaque up on the wall. We actually made the plaque ourselves. Yeah. Put it up on the wall and
man, and I'll never forget when we got the email. I was actually at work and he called me and I was just like, he said something about the World of Dance. He was like, just check your text messages. And I checked, I was like, whoa. And when I got home, I just got on my knee. I said, thank you, God. I literally just told him thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, and that I'm so happy that our company got a chance to do it. And, for us, we're our company, we're not always about the big stuff.
Big stuff, yeah.
We actually have another community event
August 24th.
Out here in Charlotte, a community event. So, we're just grateful for whatever God blesses us with, man.
We'll dance on the big stage, small stage.
Yep. because we're doing it for the love of it, not because like, oh, it's this and then the big stage, it got to be something bigger. No, and we also really wanted our dance company because we saw now that dance has changed so much. We see a lot of companies, they're all like technically trained, they're like this, but how I grew up, like we didn't grow up that way. So
right. we gonna create our own company in our own way.
Yeah,
like
whether you're a professional dancer or whether you're a non-professional dancer,
we just gonna fuse it all together.
Fuse it all together. That way we can give everybody a chance, and then while we're practicing, we're still choreographers are still training their the students to get better, So, yep.
Yeah, you guys do amazing work. You're great mentors, and we'll talk more about that. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll still have these two in the studio, and we're going to talk about, they talked about the Super Bowl of dancing, but we're going to actually talk about the Super Bowl, and we're going to talk about the NBA and how dancing fits sports, and incredible story, and you want to stay tuned for this. This is one you'll be talking to your friends about, so we'll be right back after we hear from our sponsors.
Hi there, welcome to The Watch List, presented by DJ World Beats, hosted by me, Greasy Keys, in the R Beats VIP suite, where we're bringing you the best of the best in live shows, streaming trends, indie pop, and much more. You can stream now on the all-new ROQ Radio on rbeats.com, where we're highlighting indie artists from all over the world, focusing now on hashtag local music somewhere and hashtag Charlotte. This month, we have artists that have earned cross-pollination into more than one stream, and we are proud to announce all the streams that our favorite artists have dropped on. Check it out right here on the R Beats Radio, Global Boutique Streaming and Media Network. Now, let's celebrate these incredible artists, kicking it off with Fall Lift and their song, All Salt. The incredible Paper Pills with their jam, Shampoo. John Mark McMillan with his song, Ancient Love. Uwadi with I Wonder What We're Made Of. Sue Song with their jam, Broken French. Search Party with Trembling Hand. Teleportation with Gold Under the Sun. Chris Tapp of the Cold Stairs with Standing Against the Wind. Tyler Bryant with his jam, Mama Like to Rock. Noga Erez from Penny Lane with this song, Against the Machine. And Sample the Great with Can't Hold Us. This has been Greasy Keys in the R Beats VIP suite. Be sure to check out all of these amazing artists and be on the lookout for the next edition of The Watch List presented by rbeats.com. Peace.
And here we are again, and it's been pretty fun. I mean, these guys have some, it's just great personality, a lot of energy, and we're here in the studio, of course, with the Benjamin brothers. They're known as TwinNation. We have San Juan and Sante,
yes, sir. And
we're just talking about the competitions that they were in, the stories that they had behind those competitions, and of course, we love stories here. And storytelling is everything.
Yes.
It's, that adds to concerts. That adds. That's why you follow TV shows. That's why streaming does so well, because everything's soap opera-ish now. Whether you're watching Yellowstone or a sitcom or whatever it is, you're following those stories. So let's start. I said that we would get into the sports thing, and dancing has always been a part of sports. Yeah. But let's start with our local team here. You guys did things with the Charlotte Hornets. Tell me about that.
Yes. So we did the Charlotte Hornets back in 2022-2023 season. So we had been hearing about, we love basketball, a lot. Like, we analyze basketball all the time, different teams. And we had heard about it, years ago, but I was just like, you remember we were talking about, stepping out on faith? It was we were like, I don't know, man. That's next level. Cause we don't know, and we had been hearing about it for years. And I was like, you know what? We finally just took that leap. Yeah.
That's a good crowd right there.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, in my eyes, I feel like I bombed the audition. The after the last 8 count, I was like twirling and everything. So But that was a really great experience. Like as far as like learning how everything works like so fast. Like everything in the sports world, in that entertainment world, is like fast paced. So
the whole program, it's like a TV show. I do the opening prayer for NFL games.
Yeah,
and when I'm standing on the field, they give me like I'm timed. I turn that prayer in before I ever do it, so they can make sure it fits the time. And it's because everything in that, not just that, you got national anthem, you got a halftime show, you got the game itself, which is timed, and especially if it's on TV, like CBS or something. It's you don't deviate from that.
Absolutely, And we, you're right. Like we learned so much, and as a matter of fact, everything that we learned from that, we actually implemented in our business. So, as far as like we have group chats, we've always had a group chat, but now
we're gonna do email blasts.
We got to make sure people are always on time. So that's something that we always make sure everything we've done, we make sure we're on time. So we try to tell like the next generation sometime like time management, making sure that like you shake everybody's hand. I feel like that's the biggest thing. I feel like a lot of dancers feel like the spotlight is like just on them, but there's like a lot of moving parts. So I remember when we were back at Spirit Square, I would tell someone like the dancers, like shake like the security guard's hand, shake like, the person who does the lighting hand, because they're the ones who like stay up late at night, like who like make sure that you guys like look good, So we did this show back in Durham, and I think it was like a lighting technician, and he was saying like, I gotta go and do something for Disney like next week. So it shows you like
he didn't get any sleep.
He didn't get any sleep, like, but he does like the lighting and all that type of stuff so fast. So like those are the people that are really important. And also too, I want to tell like the next generation too, there's nothing wrong with like pivoting into something else. You don't always have to be like the person in the spotlight. You could be the person that learns lighting. You could learn sound. You could learn production. Like, so like it's for us, we've always learned it's not about how long you can hold the torch. It's about who you could pass the torch to. So that's something that I would try to tell like young dancers. You could learn different things. It's not always about being on TV. You could pivot into different things and still be successsiul.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see the actors that become directors or singers that become producers or whatever it is. I had one guy on the show who was actually a performing artist, and he ended up being a producer for other people, and now he's a movie producer. I recommend everybody learn aspects of the business more than just what you're doing there in your craft.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. So let's talk about the biggest stage that I know of that you've been on. I don't think it'd be the biggest stage that you'll ever be on, but it's a pretty huge stage. So you performed at Super Bowl 55 with The Weeknd.
Yes.
And what happens backstage at the Super Bowl that nobody sees?
Oh, man, it's so many moving parts. Like so many people that are like setting up the stage, like how many times we're going over the routine, how many times like things are like constantly like changing. Like I remember one time when we were doing it, like we sat maybe for about like an hour, like in it, like the Weeknd, he was doing like some stuff like with the green screen, and he had to go through all these tunnels. The lighting with the dancers. Like they had like this one scene where it was like a room with just lights, and it was dancers, and we had to like watch that. So like all of the moving parts, it was a producer that was there.
And was that the red suits part? And the bandages? Everybody got the bandages?
Yep. And I remember the producer was there. He was like, "Hey, everybody, we're going to do like this run through. It's going to look like the real thing." So like he had like this, it was like a little small drone, and we were doing it, and it was like moving, like, and it was other like people with these big cameras and stuff. Was like the setup happens like fast. So like, thank God it wasn't like a
right. It's halftime. It's not the movie.
Yeah. Like,
and that time that was during COVID at that time.
Yeah.
So they had to switch a lot of different things so fast due to COVID. So
Yeah.
you know,
We took a lot of COVID. We had to take COVID tests every day. So
literally every
if
day.
you caught COVID, like
You couldn't perform.
So everybody was like shaky. So like it was like, dang, if I catch this, like I can't even, even get the experience.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that was and shout out to the Blumenthal for actually sponsoring us to go to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
So,
I didn't realize that's who did. That's very cool.
Yeah.
That was a blessing and an opportunity.
And when we always say just like just stepping out on faith and sometimes just asking, and I think that was just like God. That was meant to happen, because I'll never forget that day when my brother, you was off from work.
Well, I actually had lost my job.
He lost his job.
And we have, we filled it out. We didn't know like what was gonna come of it. So
And when we filled it out, we thought it was like a halftime. It was a pre-halftime show.
we was like, oh,
We was
okay,
like, okay, we'll
we'll
fill out,
see. Like we'll
where-
see. Like because we always fill out things and then
Good thing you did that.
Yeah.
And,
And I'll never forget. He was at home and I was at work, and once we got accepted for it, I was just like,
the lady had actually called me. She was
Yeah.
just like, do you think you guys could come be in Tampa by like Tuesday? I was like, Tuesday, broke. We ain't got no
we ain't
money.
got
Like
nothing, dude.
He's like, yeah, y'all gonna have to stay for like 2 weeks. I'm like, 2 weeks.
2
Like,
weeks. I gotta pay bills.
We broke.
Oh, this is a story people need to hear.
Yeah.
This is the story, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, when we were talking about earlier, some things are just meant to happen. By the grace of God, I literally, Tom Gabbert from the Blumenthal.
I'll shout out Tom Gabbert
Shout
any day
out
of
to
the
Tom
week.
Shout out to
Gabbert,
him,
Yeah.
man. He does so much for a lot of people. Man.
I'll never forget.
Every time we see him,
And we really don't ask for a whole lot.
Yeah.
I've always been that way. Like I never really asked anybody for anything, but I just so happened to see him online.
and he had the little green dot
Had the
on
little
Facebook.
green
I
dot.
was like,
Let's just ask. You never.
I don't know.
know.
Yeah, I don't. What's the
Well,
worst? Like,
Or he
to
can say.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I asked.
He's only
him,
the head of Blumenthal.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, he's got nothing else to do.
Yeah. And I messaged him. I showed him the email, and he said, yeah. He said, yeah, I could definitely help you guys out.
He blessed us with.
That's a pretty big deal. I mean, to help
Yeah.
somebody with that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's not an ordinary.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. To this
Yeah.
day, we always say thank you for everything. Like, and that's another thing too. Like, we always try to tell like the next generation. I always try to tell my dancers. I always try to tell other dancers. Like, we put them, on. Like, always tell somebody thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, for everything you've done. Like,
They will remember.
Yeah.
right?
They
They
will
will
remember.
remember.
Yeah.
So it's just like I always try to tell. Like, if we get a blessing and an opportunity, and we, put somebody on, like I always try to tell them like simple thank you, like
That goes a
even if
long
they go
way.
their own way, because like that's important too, allowing other artists to go their own way, not keeping them stuck, but just always telling somebody thank you.
Yeah.
We don't care to get anything out of it, but just tell somebody thank you, like
Yeah.
that.
But a lot of that comes from how people were raised too.
yeah,
Not everybody's raised the same,
Yeah.
So, I mean, my mom, she just taught us how to say thank you if somebody just gave you a bottle of water.
thank you.
But
Yeah,
but everybody's not raised the same.
So-
But yeah, man, and by the grace of God, he said he gave us that opportunity to go out there, and man, I felt like that was divine.
yeah.
Oh,
It was from
huge-
God.
Yeah, such a
literally.
huge performance.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know how many people on that field, but I can't tell from the just watching the television version of it because I think in the stands everybody had on black suits, and I think on the field they had on. The stands were on the field. It was a big production. It looked kind of like a Las Vegas City.
Yeah,
and everybody was in it.
Yeah.
And then you had the guys in the red suits that had
Yeah.
the bandages, on their face. But they were two different sets, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Because I noticed even in the stands that they would do things like where they had the violin player.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of how the circus works.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is you you have all these people. Sometimes they're clowns, sometimes they're acrobats.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Everybody's playing a part to keep the show going.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
you got to have a certain amount of people, but then you got to move within a certain amount of time.
Yep.
And you're dealing with a live TV situation like the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And, you know, of course, people don't understand how the work goes in. And I'm always amazed the next day when I'll see there are a lot of people that praise it.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that give their opinions on what they didn't like and
It's like
why their band is not there and how
right.
dare you so
and it's
so.
like almost every year, like it's always like, oh, somebody could have did this, somebody could have did this better, and I'm like, well, they can only do but so much. They're legendary artists, like they can't put their whole catalog like in a 13-minute set. So
right, and you know what? I don't care who the artist is. That's their big shot for the year. It used to be when I was in music, the biggest things like people. When this is one thing I used to tell them in seminars is like, what is the biggest magazine or biggest print paper or whatever it is that sells music? And they'll always say like Billboard or something like that, but it was actually the Target Circular. You know, that was seasonal. And then you had Saturday Night Live performances, and of course you had the Super Bowl. Those were the things you're trying to get on. You know, and I'm not sure. I'm assuming Saturday Night Live still works that way. There's not really a Target Circular, I don't think, like there used to be. But the Super Bowl is still it. I mean, if you're halftime at the Super Bowl, you're going to have a really good year. Generally.
Absolutely.
And
That's
so,
ticket sales going up for your tour.
You're streaming,
all of that.
It's
And
a great one to come off of.
And that's something that could last forever, man.
Yeah, and that's something I always try to tell, like, even like dancers, like, even though like I'm a dancer, I don't look at myself as a dancer. I look at myself like almost like a music artist. Like I always put myself in like that situation where, as far as like branding, like I always tell dancers like invest in yourself. Like it's cool to get like a photographer to like take a few photos with you for free, but like the best thing is to like
get a professional
and invest out of your own pocket. Even if nothing comes in return, you might see that down the road. You know, so. Investing in yourself is very important. Like we're constantly
there are people that are good at what they do. Right?
Absolutely. Yep. We like on that, like you said, like on the outside, it looks glamorous and stuff like that, but we're always putting money into our
photo shoots.
Like we just had a new photo shoot with our group. Like you have to constantly invest in yourself.
I used to have the mindset when I was coming back. You know, I'd been in the industry and I'd left, and everything had changed, and I'm trying to learn all the new stuff. You know, during that time, it was when I wrote my first book, and I'm trying to figure out how to do that. So I was like, I'm gonna design my own cover. You know, and I sent it to some people, and it was unanimous, especially with my own mother, who should tell me anything that I want to hear. She was like, "This is god awful." So, you know, you go find somebody that does that particular thing. Otherwise, you're trying to learn too many things.
Absolutely.
That's the biggest killer of business. It's like you may be a great cake maker, but then you become this entrepreneur and your cakes are selling, and all of a sudden you think, oh, now I got to be a great marketer. Now I got to understand fulfillment and shipping. And no, you don't.
Exactly.
You know, I want you to learn something about them so you can control your team.
Right.
But to try to be masters of all those, you're out of business.
Exactly. You can't do, like you said, you can't do everything. Like, even if you, like you say, you have to pay people out of pocket just for your stuff to look a certain way, the product to be a certain way. Like, you have to do that. Like, and I always try to tell like young dancers or artists, like, if you're out going to a club or you're out, you know, doing this, like, you just spent like $50 on parking and you spent money on drinks, and then you could have invested that into like what you doing. Like, that's all we do. Like, after when we get paid from our jobs and stuff like that, we always constantly investing in like with our group marketing, like everything. So it's very important that you invest.
Well, as creatives, a lot of times we have ADHD, right? And so in that, you can tend to self-sabotage yours. I've done it so many times, you know, trying to learn that lesson of you can always find more time. And you can always find more money. But it seems so scarce that you get so selfish with those, but you're wasting so much of it. Like doom scrolling when you know you got to get this project. I've been the worst at that. You know, of course, it's helped me because I've learned, you know, certain things about marketing and stuff from doing that kind of thing. But still, there was excessive amounts that don't need to be happening. Change that. Then you look at something like money. You guys talked about you had a Super Bowl opportunity, and you were like, "Oh my God, we can't do that. We can't. We don't have the money." The way the big people think, that are doing the stuff out there that you want to do, money is never the first thought.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've heard so many speak. I heard T.D. Jakes say this about his projects, or Tyler Perry's when he was working with Tyler. It's like the project was first. The money will always come.
Exactly.
But you got to have that vision first, and it's got to be a great vision.
Exactly.
And then go do it. You will
Mm-hmm.
find, because it becomes your priority and your importance, and you're thinking about it and you're praying about it, things will manifest around it.
Right.
But when you think that first thought is money first, that's no reason you go stay small.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's see. What's a theme or message that you still want to explore in choreography?
I would say just let. I think
I would definitely say real quick, musical theater. I'm still like learning from like other people. Like it was a young lady in our group that she's like really like good at that, you know. So like that's something like we're always exploring and also open, because we're more like hip hop-ish, but I always like it's very important that you try to stay versatile in everything that you do. So
Right, you're talking about the Nicholas brothers.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
That's not hip hop.
Yeah,
That's from way, way back. But
Yeah.
those guys, people still watch them on YouTube
Still watch-
to this day
yeah.
in black and white, you know, all that
Yeah.
stuff from back then.
Yeah. And that's definitely something that I'm looking more to explore in contemporary work as well. So
I would say just adding more non-professional dancers like to projects. You know, I think a lot of times where when we go to certain rooms, everybody's classically trained in this, but all how we will work back in the day is that whether you are a professional dancer or a non-professional dancer, we would see we will work with people's weaknesses and strengths and emerge them together. And I think if everybody in the dance world or whatever art you do, I think it's important to do that, because everybody can learn something from everybody when you're coming from two different worlds, and then everybody's learning and growing at the same time. So
collaboration is key. So like you said, like depending on what type of vision you have and how you want to execute it, it can really happen. So
yeah.
But that vision is yours.
Yep.
And the other thing is, don't let other people shape that vision for you.
Yeah.
You know, if they know what they're doing, they can help somewhat. But there are a lot of people out there that try to shape your vision through their life experiences, and it doesn't become your calling.
We've had to,
Yep. We've literally just had that. Now that we have our company now, we have to, we wanted to, certain people, people wanted to do different things, and we have to realize like, okay, this is still our company.
Yes, it is.
And, why not, like bring both worlds together and make them feel like
everybody's
a part of something in the safe space.
Yep.
And I think we have to get back to doing that, like how we did 10 years ago in Spirit Square in Charlotte, because that's what the dance community in the dance world needs. Like not everybody's goal is to be like a professional dancer or try to grow into this type of great dancer, but some people just want to do it for a hobby, and some people just want to do it for, just for recreational,
right.
But why not just have them part of our company? They can still learn and grow, at the same time,
I fully agree.
Yep. So yeah, I definitely feel like that's what we have to do, and we can't let other people opinions sway us. It's kind of like, okay,
I'm grateful that we took that in, but now, we're going to kind of focus on what we focus on.
How does that fit into what we're doing?
Mm-hmm.
So what's next for Twin Nation 2026 and beyond? We're here in the new year.
Yeah, man, you're right. Man, the next phase, I feel like, you remember we was talking about like how important it is to like pass off the torch. I was just looking at J. Cole's trailer just came out, and he was just talking about like his new album, it was talking about like it was about passing it on to like the next person. So our next step is ownership, man. We definitely want to own not just a dance studio, but a creative space where everybody can create their own worlds, their own vision. So that's our next like step for like the next 10 years. So like we have to learn to always think like ahead, like, because like you said, we're not gonna be like on this like big level ever, like. So like we want to own a space that's
a creative space. Whether you do photography, podcasts, after school program, and I think that's what the Charlotte creatives. I think that's what's missing. I don't know if you remember Imaginon.
Oh yeah, of course.
Imaginon. I remember they kind of had that creative hub world up there at the library, I think, uptown. And I was like, man, why don't we do something like that? You know? And like you said, like that's legacy right there. Like I feel like if I never do anything else, I feel like this would be like the last phase. Like this is the legacy right here. Like, and it won't even be called TwinNation like arts, dude. It'd be called something else. Yeah, this will be like the last phase. Like, this is the legacy.
So when you're gone, somebody else can take it.
Exactly.
And move forward with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for being here.
No, man, thank you, man. Thank you for even giving us the opportunity to like be up here and just tell our story. We've been wanting to get on the podcast for so long. I was like,
you guys are made
man.
for it, really, because you're very talkative and you have a great story and a big personality. It's like one thing that I love about podcasting. I see so many different types of it. There's some that are very like NPR kind of, and then there's some that are very business tech. Yeah, and then there's some like more what I'm drawn to, Rogan and Breakfast Club and Charlotte and whoever. And these guys, big personalities, everybody's joking. Even The Undertaker, he's got this WWE podcast. Yeah. So you have those kind of things. And I just see, this, it is definitely what's happening, what's going to happen, what's going to continue to happen.
Absolutely.
And the bigger the personalities that get on it, I encourage anybody that's got that to be out there doing the thing. I loved having you on. I believe you manifested something today that's going to come true.
Thank you. I believe we truly believe it, man. And congratulations on your podcast. Like, man. And this whole setup, like, man.
Yeah, it's a different thing.
This is like inspiring, man.
Being on the network, it's a different thing because you have such a team. If I'd have started out at this on my own, it'd have been a lot more of a crazy situation because I knew nothing about it. But I get to hang with this team that knows all the tech and all the social media and how these things work. And you have these people behind you and even, the producers that are, it's like you're talking about being on Super Bowl or whatever. They're hitting me up by email or phone call saying, hey, you got to turn in your stuff. That, blah, blah, blah. These 12 things need to come from you by Wednesday or, whatever. And it keeps you moving and keeps you prepared. And I'm very thankful. I'm blessed to be with R Beats and they're doing great things for the independent artists in the community. So I'm very proud to be with them.
Absolutely, man. That's much
amazing.
More success, man.
Yeah, many more blessings to you guys, man. And I'm like, again, man, we're so grateful to be able to like be on the show and just tell our story. And thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're friends from here on out, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's see what we can connect and do.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah. And thank you for tuning in to We Talk Raw. We take, like we said, real stories and turn them into real conversations. And the best part, no filter. We just say it and you get to hear it and it's, there's no agenda behind it. So thank you for tuning in. Tell your friends about it. Have them tune in to rbeats.com. Have them subscribe to the YouTube channel and to the website. And you can read articles about what's going on and you can check out all the streaming platforms. So the streaming stations that are on R Beats. Until next time, as always, much love. See you real soon.